Hi everyone, it's Sally Estlin again on Magic Light Moments, and today I'm very pleased to be joined by Inaya Oakroot, all the way from Sweden. So before we introduce Inaya in person, I'm just going to give a little short rundown on her bio. So Inaya has dedicated herself to the artistic path since the age of 5. Wow, she was always guided to other realities other than the common well-worn routes in life. Her art was her tool into lifelong investigation into an authentic life beyond the veil taught by society. Ooh, this is piquing my interest here. She started her career as a tennis coach at the age of 14. Wow. And over her 30-year career as a tennis coach, she trained 5 to 60-year-old males and females, beginners and juniors at a high level of competition. This created an incredible understanding of people and what makes them tick, their motivations and behaviours. And I totally get that. All the while, she combined her love and talent of art with various art exhibitions in Scandinavia and abroad, becoming successful beyond her wildest expectations. By the age of 40, she started her next chapter as a consultant, board member, and creator of educational programs for the corporate and public sector. Her specialty was implementing creativity and entrepreneurship with the intention to eliminate the separation between the different fields of excellence. Her drive was to break down those silos between departments and between different authority levels and help teams to operate at the highest level of performance, staying competitive in a changing world. She was also the owner and operator of a refugee camp for 4 years. Wow, bringing her face to face with trauma, war, separation, death, and loss. With her work then leading her to writing various books about the coming of a new reality and the shift of consciousness, helping people to navigate the new paradigm. The last 8 years have been dedicated to the healing arts as a sound healer, energy healer, specializing in the Akashic records, plus shamanic studies and practices through Energy Medicine Institute, EMI, as well as being an artist, author, and still working in the corporate world with teams as a leadership coach. She is now founder of Oakroot Spiritual Academy, bringing her life's work together under one roof to connect seekers to their divine duality, doing her part for Earth and its people's ascension. Whoa, you sound like such an awesome chick. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Wow, you have had a journey and a half. Wow. And how many transformations have you gone through? Wow. So I'm so grateful to have you on the show today. So welcome.
Thank you so much. And what I didn't write there is also I had 10 years of hidden address because I had I was married to a man that was very dangerous. So I also had my a really deep. So
Wow.
mm,
Well, you've got such an amazing bio. Would you like to share part of your journey? Tell us about some of the challenges you've had, what you've
mm,
overcome, how you've morphed and transformed throughout this time. What a journey. And you've had your finger in so many pies. I particularly like how you picked up working as a tennis coach and really understanding how people tick, because you've been
mm,
hands-on, getting down and
mm.
dirty and really in the midst of it, not reading it from a textbook, not learning from online, but actually being in the field, so to speak. But anyway, over
Yeah.
to you. Share away. Let's hear little bit more detail about who you are and where you've come from.
Yeah, that was a lot, you really captured all. So what I can say is that, to know oneself, it's and the path, and why I know it since I was 5, it's actually because I came across a threshold. It was my father telling that I will never be an artist, and my brother will maybe do it. We were playing and drawing. I was 5, my brother was 8, and very good. And it was like, it was instantly my heart took away from me like that, and
Yeah.
I understood that I'm not good enough, but without it, I will not exist. So after that, I was so dedicated to art. It's not like, I have to be good on it because it's my life. It was just the knowing of this is my life.
Yeah.
So I in school, I didn't have to go for the degrees or for being as good as it was really a play, and also to like the subjects, to do it
Mm.
for its own thing. It's not for other things. And when I was 13, I gone into deep depression because my circumstances was terrible with the family and everything. It was really so evil, I think, you know, also in school. And that took me to the next part, to see it from another side, to survive. I had to look at it, to see the light spots, and to go for it, because otherwise I cease to exist again. It's like I was sensitive and powerful in the same time, and
Yep.
it made it work. And so when I was 14, I started to play tennis when I was 11, and at 14 I was headhunted because another tennis coach said I was made to be a teacher. So I was just, you know, learning from him, and was, you know, and when I was 16, I already owned my own money to for my living as a tennis coach, and still I was touring around playing as well myself. And then I was also in the gymnasium, you know, we call it like that in Sweden, but it's like high school.
Right.
And so I had 24 hours of tennis and the full program of school. So when I it was so easy to get into the subject, because with the sport and the awareness in it, it's so, you are so clear when you take it in. So it's not any superpower, it's just the combination that was so good. So when I ended that school when I was 19, I had my full living, just with 16 hours a week, and could totally experiment with art. And there it goes, you know, it's just evolving itself. Anyway, when I was 26, my best friend that I traveled the world with, and you know, interrailed with many years and did so much together, we knew each other since I was 8. She became depressed and took suicide, first schizophrenic, and took suicide. And I got so afraid of my own energy, because before I felt that I energized people, but then I saw that I could energize them to do things that was very brutal to themselves. It's like my energy was able to be used. So I was so dangerous of myself, of my own power. I was so afraid of my own power. And then, because I am a helper, I am a, you know, a giver. So I met a man that was really so down under, so I couldn't destroy him. And it turned to be my daughter's father later, and we moved to Argentina. It's a story that is terrible, because I was locked in and I was beaten and I was, you know, totally, and I got pregnant. And when I came home to Sweden again, it was the last flight home when I was in the 7th month. And when I came home, I'm again started to be a tennis coach, even though I was locked in lots of times and everything. It worked so well, so I got the main coach in that club.
Wow.
And I had art exhibitions that was going around Scandinavia and the biggest halls. And in the same time, I was beaten. So I lived in such a duality, you know, in two different paths. But the strength that came from my success made me understand that I worth more. So I was able to escape and just leave the tennis coaching, having my daughter, she was 2.5, in my hand, gone away from everything. And I have to change name, let everything I had away, you know, starting from scratch with nothing, you know. And there I healed myself with mineral stones and sounds from the galaxy. So it's my story that I found these energies, because they just came to me, and they were healing tools that was so powerful, because I was so receptive and so sensitive. So about the early part of the travel, I can say. yeah.
Like your story is mind-blowing already. You learned so many life lessons by the age of 16 when you're starting to do tennis coaching. And as you said, you had clarity and focus with the tennis, which helped you with life and with your navigating through life. You picked up a lot of the tools along the way that a lot of us don't pick up till much later on, because we never have to step into that responsible role. I mean,
Mm,
everything's just blowing me away. And then finding the power in your energy. You're clearly an empath, and not
mm,
realizing that what you can do with your energy, because energy is so powerful, but we can use it in a
mm,
positive or a negative way. And then when you had that
mm,
dark time with your friend who passed, only
mm,
26, and dealing with these emotions and the power within you, like, and then getting into this toxic relationship. It's worse than toxic, where it
mm.
literally split you into almost being schizophrenic, part of you sticking with the light and part
Yeah.
of you being dragged down into the dark, like you're trying to
Mm,
two different personalities, trying to
mm,
you with the art and the tennis and everything else, and then behind closed doors you're this other persona, right? And it's just
right.
navigate that, splitting yourself in half. It's just, I'm getting
Mm,
bumps about it, because managing that energy, and it must have been soul crushing and soul destroying trying to navigate that. And when you had a
mm,
daughter, then you've got another element in the mix. So
mm,
it takes a very strong, determined, courageous woman to be
mm.
navigating
Uh,
through that.
yeah, but I must say also that what's interesting is when you live in such a uh, dark night of the soul, or what you say,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like the darkness. I felt it made me a very good artist. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. You did.
my expression was really authentic. I have no surface. Whatever I did, it was raw, and it made me also a bit afraid of clean up, my bad environment, because it also feeded me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, uh,
I
yeah,
mean, because you were real, you're raw, you're authentic, and you're exposing and digging deep
mm,
into that pain. It's like a raw wound that you would dig
yeah,
into, and
yeah,
digging into, allowing that to flourish through your creativity with your artwork.
yeah,
And that's what a lot of artists do, is they dig deep into their pain to fuel the creativity that comes from it. And as
mm,
we always say, out of the dark there's always light. There's always a silver
yeah,
lining that comes out of everything, because every experience is there to teach us and to help us learn and grow, whether perceived negative or
mm,
positive. But your energy is amazing. Like, you were just so how to turn something that would have been just so hard and dark to push through and follow the light. Just follow the light. And as you said, you're digging deep into that pain to find the light
mm,
that brings it
yeah,
through, and that's making you money, and that's sort of elevating, and keeping you
mm,
going. Wow. And talk to me a bit more about tapping in with the sounds from the galaxy, and being really receptive and really being open to more of this dimensional realm, and all the cosmic
yeah.
out there.
Well, it's not until written my books that I knew that I am channeler. So
Yeah.
it started lots later. Uh, I was, yeah, I did a lot about it, but to the sound from the galaxy, I think, when we have thin borders in
Good way
our
to
skin.
describe it. Yeah. Yeah.
The galaxy, the energy of the galaxy is so powerful.
So
It's
powerful.
and it makes us into synchronicity,
Yeah.
because all
The
our
one, right?
yeah, it's the one, and it's the core energies that steers our daily life and nights. So
Yeah.
it was such a power in it. And yeah, and the minerals, they are, even though I didn't know it, because I just got totally, just holding a stone, and I got totally balanced. And
Yeah.
I was so in crash when, especially when I left the the father of my daughter, because afterwards everything comes up that you have carried because you have to survive, and then
Good,
it
right.
comes,
Yeah.
all of it.
Yep.
So the stones really was so obvious what they stand for, what they are doing with me. And so for me, words, as because I'm quite good on on words in Swedish, and it's so easy to come around what's really the problem. With the words, you can always escape. You can always tell a story about it. So for me, to dig in with a psychologist or something, it didn't work. They just start to be amazed of my story, and not to have anything to do. So I had to do it by energy, and energy is my way. Yeah.
Oh, I just love it because that's what I do. I follow the energy, I work with energy, and everything is energy. And
Yeah.
words are energy. And so
Yeah.
it was interesting. I was doing a podcast this week and we were talking about the power of words because
Yeah.
everything has an energy attached. So even the words you don't speak, the words you put in your head, imagine what this is doing to your whole energy system, to your cells, what you're
Yeah.
absorbing. And it's interesting with the energy work I do, we all come together because it's one collective consciousness, we're all the oneness, and we're almost united as we're all it's the universe playing one verse, universe, and we're all
Yes.
instruments of the one orchestra playing the same song,
Yes.
in
Yes.
different tunes. And when we're in tune, they're different instruments, violin and, I don't know, cello and double bass and whatever else. We're all coming through, playing beautiful music, playing the one song as a collective, right? And this is what it's all about, this collective consciousness, this oneness, this unitedness. And so when you're tapping into that energy, which is all around us, it's within us. It's not here and there, it's here within us and around
Yeah,
us.
we are the same. Yeah.
And once we can get our head across that, and I love how you say it's very thin borders, and it just once you allow yourself to let go and follow that energy, it takes you on an amazing magic carpet ride, doesn't it? It's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're in a place where it's like your body's starting to shake off, yourself, you have nothing else to do than work with that energy, and what works. Taboo doesn't work for anyone who needs something. We need
That's
to
right.
go there.
You've got to bypass the logical mind and just let go.
Yeah.
And what's the word, fragging or something, when you're burning stuff off? I think the word is fragging or something like that. But it's
maybe I'm Swedish, so I'm
yeah,
not good in
and
it.
it's some word
Yeah.
like when you're burning stuff off, so that it does no attachments to it. It's just
Right.
rid of the muck, right? And just allow it to just float freely. Because when you're in that quantum realm, that dimensional space, there's no time, there's no space, there's anything. It's just this black nothingness, and how beautiful it is when we're all united.
Oh, yes.
It feels so good, right? So talk to me about
Yes.
some of the books that you've written then. You mentioned that
Yeah.
before. And did you channel some information, or you do channeling separately, or talk to me about that.
No, my first book that I count as my books, I did some before in the corporate field. But they came after dancing 1 hour in the morning, every morning. They come down more information.
Downloads.
It took three years to write my first book, because first I got it in the level of 3D, and then I came beyond all the academy and the corporate idea of life, and then I start to receive the channeling that tried to come through me. But it was by dancing that I got totally transparent for information by words. Before, it has been my inner knowing that was my superpower, that I just know, and it's because I had such a straight connection with my higher self. So it's just spoke to me always. So it wasn't easy to know if it was channeled or if it was my inner knowing. And then I understand, but it's all the same, because the higher self is also channeling myself. But the books, I've written about, it's about the paradigm shift. All the
Mhm.
three that I have, it's about the potential inside the human beings that we never saw in the late paradigm,
Yeah.
and how to build it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is just the perfect time to be talking about this,
Mm.
because
Mm.
to be perfectly honest, it was a little bit too much for a lot of people to comprehend. But with
Mm.
everything that's been happening over the last 3 or 4 years, people are a lot more open to opportunities, possibilities, potentials that are going on. And people, look,
Mm.
basically, people are feeling stuff, even if they're not
Mm.
particularly that consciously awake. They
Mm.
sense things. And
Yeah.
as you said before, your superpower is your inner knowing. That's a higher self connection. It's connection to a higher place, right? And it's just, I think now is the time for people to reach out to people like you, where you can help people, support them across this, through this paradigm shift, and navigate
Mm.
it in, and stick to the light. I came up with this line the other day: stick to the light and you'll be right, as we go through
Mm.
sort of this shift at the moment, because it is a bit like being in the washing machine, where there's dark and light forces all around us, and it's trying
Yeah.
to sort of walk through the dark to the light. When you get up at
Yeah,
night,
it
in
is.
the dark.
Uh,
Sorry, go on.
I can. That is about how I could go away from my daughter's father. It wasn't that easy because I was
Mm,
interconnected with him. When he was bad to me, I was, you know, I was not violent back to him, but I was in my way of watching him. It was abuser,
mm,
and I tried to go away when my daughter was 7 months,
yeah.
but it worked for a while, and I came back, and it's because I had still this interconnected field
Mm,
of darkness with
yeah.
him,
Yeah.
together with him.
Yeah.
So to come away, to let go of that life, I had to make myself white. I for half a year before I could leave, it was like strategic. Just don't react to his moments. Don't react to his words. Stay connected. Stay white as a nun. Try to not have any bad thoughts.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then I started to be already there, separated from him in
Mm,
an energy field.
mm,
So when I was going, all his trying to manipulate and everything didn't work because I wasn't there left
mm,
any longer.
mm.
So it's to let go of thinking of that anything bad exists outside,
Yeah.
because when we are connected to what we think is bad, we we're going to be it.
Oh, absolutely. And it's all the power of
Ah,
attention. I have this line: where your attention goes, your energy flows. So, what are you
mm,
choosing to focus on? And your
mm,
intention to decouple, detangle the
mm,
energy, the disconnect, sorry, the energy with your the father of your daughter, like,
mm.
and just focus on the lights, focus on the white, focus on the positive. And easy to say,
Yeah.
very hard to
Mm.
apply, for sure.
Yeah, it's not also to be think positive. It's really to be aligned with what is, and to be
Yep.
seeing what is it there that makes me also in the magic, in the same time that I'm in this field of sorrow, of deep depression and whatever. There are also things that's sparkling,
Yeah.
and so it's not positive thinking. It's to be really there with what is.
Yep. Yep. What
It's
is?
very important to be authentic with what is.
Yeah. Let me just put that down. Be authentic with what
I-
is.
in the shamanic studies or practices, what we are doing, it's really to take up to the surface all the core
Mm,
emotions that we didn't know that they exist in us, and face them, and then we can clear them up, and then we are not only cleared by our energy field from things that we carry and that we may be a bit ashamed of because it plays out in the absence of light story.
Yeah.
And when we are doing it and facing it, we are able not only to clear it, but to be conscious about our polarity in ourselves and how to handle it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, be very conscious about the polarity within ourselves. Love that within ourselves, because we are emotional beings, right? We are, and
Mm.
we're the only planet in the universe that holds emotions, and
Yeah.
so emotions are just found building blocks, if you like, and so we have got so many stuck in us, and we need to bring them up and out, and no judgment, but just allow them to come up to clear. It's like anything. When you touch
Yeah.
carpet, it's going to stay there until you lift it
Yeah.
out and dust it
Yeah.
out, right?
And never feel see us ourselves as victims,
Correct.
because then we are in a triangle of a victim,
Yeah.
perpetrator, and accuser, and we go into a sector of duality that is what we can see playing out in the world, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. So I call that
Mm.
duality the light and the dark, however you want to describe it, but it's the black
Mm.
and white. It's the yin and
Yeah.
yang. Yeah.
And for me, when I work with a divine duality, that is my core energy that I work with, it's to understand yin and yang,
Yeah.
because yin, the blackness, is not. It's it's the start of life.
Mm.
If we see before consciousness even evolved, it was only blackness. In my word, how I channel it and see it.
Yep.
And this blackness, is filled with with the energy that
Potential.
supports and holds everything. It's
Yep.
the energy that holds the seed before it goes to a flower or tree. It's the womb that holds a embryo. It's
Yep.
it's a blackness around our pineal gland.
Yep.
It's a darkness that hold the planetary system and the solar system in their field.
Yep.
And the blackness is the mother. And actually, what created the consciousness
Yep.
was the loving field in the blackness, the love. And if we see yin yang, it's the consciousness was born from the mother energy, from the blackness, and starting to be in love with the consciousness wanted start to be in love with its surrounding, because it was wrapping with love.
Mm.
And with that love, it's the duality start, because then the consciousness wanted to penetrate the subconscious, the unconscious, the potential. And there we have yin yang. And it is like, it's not like this curling white and black cooperating.
No.
It is like the sun, it's exploding and imploding and ever life. So it's like an ecstatic dance, an ecstatic movement between dark and light. And with this we will see that darkness is not a bad energy. It's when we concentrate on the darkness, and then we turn into lack of light, and then we can't see anything that is from love.
Yeah.
So that's for me. I need to specify darkness, because darkness is such a wow. It's a holding mother.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
to be fair, like in layman's terms, we sort of talk dark and white, the dark and the light. But I work with ancient Egyptian wisdom, so it's
Yeah.
and so we're based on the 6 element system, and so
Mm.
all of the creation starts in the void. The void is the
Yeah.
darkness, it's
All.
space, right? And then
Yeah.
spark comes and it goes into the fire element, and then we fuel it with our passion, and then the air just amplifies it, and it's still in the wave form until we hit the ether element, and the ether element is where it transforms from the wave to the particle and comes into something more solid. And so you're really starting to manifest this thought or this something that comes from the void, and then from the ether,
Yes.
then it turns into the particle, and then it gets floats along the water, where we just go with the flow, and then it gets solidly earthed into the ground. And that's sort of the master creation cycle. So
Yeah.
the tree of life and the 6 elements and the DNA as the core elements of master creation. But on the same page as you, it's the dark where all the creation starts. So don't be scared of it, because out of the dark, that's where the work's done to come up then to be birthed into the light. So I think we're on
Yeah.
the same page, and it's just,
Yeah.
that's the beauty about working with consciousness and awareness, and working with the universal field, the cosmic field, because we're talking the same language, and we're just, it's like you're saying it in Swedish and I'm saying it in English, and someone says it in
Yeah.
English and someone else says it's the same story that we're telling all along the way.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
not,
And the Egyptian are so close to the shamanic.
yeah.
Yeah.
And because all these ancient traditions or ancient methods, over time, they got bastardized and, bits and pieces ripped out, because we work with the 13 chakra system, for example, which equates to a keyboard with the white keys and the black keys. But over time, with everything else coming in, the black keys were taken away, and then just left the 7 chakras, for example. So there's a lot in it when you peel pieces back and take it back to the authentic, original process, and then you're working with the core before it's been tainted over time. And I just love how we're talking the same language from different perspectives, but exactly the same sort of story, if you like. So yeah. And we've all learned it through our own journeys. We've all had our own experiences, because that's why we're on this planet Earth, right? To learn from our experiences, to learn and grow. And I think this is the time where people are ready to open up their awareness and their consciousness into hearing these deeper conversations, but stuff that is proven in science. It's not just made up.
Well, yeah, it is.
Powerful
Totally.
science, powerful healing happens in this space. That's why I work in the dimensional realm, because it's so much quicker and so much more powerful.
Yeah, and so much more fun.
Oh, it's so fun. We don't have all this earthly stuff getting in the way. For example, you fall over and you break your leg. It's going to take 6 weeks minimum, then 3 months, 6 months. You know what it's like being a sports person, right? But you're working in the dimensional realm, and things just happen so much quicker. And you think, well, I don't have 6 months up my sleeve. Let's just work on it now. So
yeah.
It's normalizing what used to be a little bit out there, a little bit controversial, a little bit woo-woo. I don't know if you use that word in Sweden, but it's time now to have these conversations and to say to people, read a book, reach out and have a chat. Haven't you got a retreat or a conference or workshop coming up? What have you got coming on about the duality?
Yeah, it's about embodied divine duality. So it's 3 cycles. It starts February 3rd. So it's quite now, quite close.
Couple of weeks,
a couple of weeks. And well, it's 3 cycles to embody the combination of counterparts to start to make us a centered being. So the first cycle is about understanding and grasping your divine being. It's 21 days, and then it's one week of rest. Then starts a second cycle that is about healing our filter, our energy field, to make us able to go to what our mind knows that we are. And then so it's 21 days and then 1 week rest, and then it comes third cycle that is the creative magic to be able to create our lives. And it's include gatherings every Sunday, and the start of every cycle and half a day in Saturdays, having every day having rituals like a short meditation, guided meditation, morning, midday, evening, to get our lives into track. And there are 3 hours, one with me, and a healing in Akashic records included, because it's make it so much easier to flow in the process. And a vocal sound healing, because that's one of my huge tools, is to work with my voice to heal people.
Fantastic. And this
Yeah.
is done all online, so anyone
Yeah, it's all
can
online.
join in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and where would we go to find more information about that? Is that through your website, or what is the best?
Yeah.
So,
Website. It's
yeah,
oakrootspiritualacademy.com.
yeah, and I'll put that in
Mm.
oakrootspiritualacademy.com. Yeah, great. That sounds
And
good.
I have a free gift for your our listeners, your
Yep.
listeners. And if they go to Spotify and just put this creative existence, unfolding a new conscious word, I have done a sound book out of my first
Oh, right.
for the book that I started to write 2012 about this paradigm shift. So they have it for free on Spotify if they
Okay,
want.
so fantastic. This creative existence.
Existence, unfolding a new conscious word.
Fantastic. I'll put that in the link as well. That's brilliant. So,
Thank you.
we spoke about your superpower, about your inner knowing and your connection, the higher self, and whatever. What do you think is the biggest issue facing people that you're working with?
What their biggest issue?
Mm,
I have so different clients. I
yeah,
have
yeah,
one that have rheumatic pain, and
yeah.
I work with
Physical
vocal
stuff.
sound.
Yeah,
Yeah, physical stuff, and I really feel that is physical because she carries other traumas, but they are uh, her body doesn't really cope with her. All right, so
yeah,
we work only with that. But often when people come and they have maybe they have you know diffused they have energy that they can't stand in, and they have a brain fatigue and or things. We start with I start with a sound healing, and then we come part by part more to heal their traumas
yeah, yeah. Peel off
beyond
the layers. Yep,
peel out the layers.
yeah,
And so and there are often people who comes to me, it's because they have come to the threshold when they can't continue with their life, and because their knowing and heart is somewhere else
mm,
where their doings are not, and they need to integrate themselves and to get get to know how I can create another life.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, leading on from that, what do you think would be 3 top tips that you could share to help people in general? Just, I mean, and
Yeah.
this is very deep stuff, but just a starting point for people. The first
Mm.
things that you would recommend for people to get started into
Yeah.
unraveling themselves?
First of all, suffer only exists when our mind runs away from our body and heart.
Mhm. Yep.
So the first thing is that our whole world has so much knowledge in our head and so little ear to listen to our bodies and
Yeah.
to our hearts, and so much limitations about what we should be. So this separation is the biggest issue for everyone on earth just now, to integrate and to be in the same frequency
Mm.
with our body and heart as our mind and our words, to integrate. And that's a big thing, but that's
Mm.
the core. It is to be on
Yeah.
the same levels in our three intelligences and not have them divided, because it's make us tearing apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And then a second is a very hard one to do, but it's the main thing, is to work on our self-love. Yeah,
Mm.
to go to see, and divine duality is such a tool to come there. It's such a tool.
Yep.
It's just in the moment sees the separation inside to exist. So
Yeah.
it's fantastic. And well, the third would be to know that work is not lead to work, and pushing and motivation doesn't lead us to our goal, but the wonder of the child within, when we can see the wonder of the blade of grass, the wonder
Yeah.
of the small things, then our energy fields start to blossom,
Yeah.
and we start to be integrated, and we come so much easier to the goals that we want to reach.
Yeah.
So that's the three, I think,
I
that I
love
will
it.
give.
I love it. I love it. I resonate with all of that. You know, the core issue for every single person on this planet
Mm.
is tapping into this unconditional self-love and self.
Yes. Yes.
Everything is conditional. We live in such a conditional world, but when we can let, and
Mm.
it's the hardest thing in the world to do, is to tap into that unconditional self-love and worth. It's
Yeah.
the process. Excuse me.
Uh,
And there's so many
uh,
layers we need to take off,
yeah.
get into
And
it.
And if you listener wants to just go deeper to come into start to this self-love, I have a free discovery session, 1 hour, if you go into my website.
Okay.
So I can help them with or lead the first step into divine duality.
Oh, look, absolutely. If anybody listening to this is resonating with this, definitely reach
Mm.
out to Inaya and, you know,
Mm.
go and do that free self-discovery and see where it can lead, because this divine duality is, it's time to, like, you know, repair our two sides.
Mm.
Sorry, I'm going to cough again. Hang on, Letty.
Mm.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. There's
No
some, yeah,
problem.
frog in my throat.
Oh.
So that's really, really very inspiring and very deep, and I love it. I mean, it's deep, but it's not. It's understandable. So I have a little mantra about, I just say, let go, step up and be more. And it's about letting go of stuff, you know, letting go of judgments, letting go of all the stuff that really at the end of the day is just dragging you down, doesn't matter. Step up and be more of your divine self, be more of your true authentic self, be comfortable in being just who you are and resonating and being the beacon of love and light. So you've
Yeah.
had so many challenges and experiences and gone through a lot, but what do you think has been the biggest thing that you've let go of over your
Well,
time?
it was absolutely when I let go of apartment,
Yeah,
famous as an artist, having everything, but to leave everything,
yeah,
and to let go of all what I built up, and know that the most important is the health of my daughter,
mm,
and that some kind of trust inside that everything will build up from zero, will
yeah.
be built up there from zero. Mm.
That's such a strong thing, that trust.
Mm.
Trust, believe, and allow, and
Yeah.
just trusting in yourself, in the universe, trust that everything will be okay, believing in yourself, believing in your worth, believing in the universe that the support is there, and just
Mm.
allowing the magic to unfold, just the
Mm.
next page to be revealed to you, so to speak. It's easy to say, and when you're going through the motion, it's almost like having your divine prayer, right, and staying connected
Mm.
with that, and hanging on to that
Mm.
golden thread of light and hope, and following that along while
Yeah.
else is going else along. It's like walking on a tightrope but not falling off. It's
Yeah.
but
I
going
really
that way.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I really think that trust is the biggest thing for us, and the self-worth.
Yeah, yeah,
So to work with those layers of trust, try things that you think that you will not be able to do. Look back and see what you have passed. You recognize that you passed so many things that you didn't think that you were able to do,
yeah,
and start to just collect all this stuff about that the unseen is not unknown from yourself, because you are
yeah,
source.
yeah, yeah. Correct.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
yeah.
yeah, I really love that, because I think we're going to be physically seeing a lot more representation of non-physical beings, or, it's all going to start
Mm,
presenting themselves to us. And so the more that we can accept the morphing of ourselves, right, with
mm,
this shape shifting, if you like, just,
mm,
morphing through different design shapes of ourselves, and allowing ourselves to let go and trust, and go into that floaty space, it's going to help us navigate forward and satisfy the logical mind in many ways, by just going,
mm.
yeah, that's okay, I'm just trusting and believing that I'm on the right path. So it satisfies
Yeah.
protective logical mind.
Because you evolve your
Mm,
body and mind to understand things beyond what you already have been through.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because the body, that's why kinesthetic test always works. It's
yeah,
because the body is aligned with everything.
yeah,
And so when we start to go this path of trust, we start to know that we know, but not we not know from our mind at start,
correct.
but we know.
Within.
We know
So
because we
yeah,
exist.
exactly.
Yeah.
So all the work that I do is activating the remembering of who you
Ah.
truly are. So
Yeah.
all within us,
Yeah.
but it's all
Mm,
been like we've been stuck in a cupboard and gathering dust, and it's just
mm.
reactivating the remembering that's already within us. It's within the,
Right.
it's all the codes are there,
All.
just reactivating the codes and
Mm,
making it
exactly.
different. So,
Mm,
I'm working on the DNA level, and, scientists are now discovering that it's not just 2 strands, there's 4 strands, there's 6 strands, there's 8 strands. So it's all these
it's
little
12.
codes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what we're
Yeah.
doing, is reactivating this
Yeah.
remembering, and we've got it all within us, and we're
Yeah.
only scratching on the surface at the moment. So yeah, it's a beautiful time to
Mm.
be alive, actually, and
Oh, yes. It's
it's so
magic.
exciting. We
Yeah.
chose this journey, right? We had a look up on the DVD list up on, above, and said, okay, which movie do I want to play out in my life? And we chose this one, right, for this moment
Mm,
right now. And this is the story unfolding that we chose to be a part of, because when we really start to peel back the layers and look at what's evolving and being revealed, it's incredible. And it's just about ourselves remembering who we are,
mm.
and just being more of that, and then
Yeah.
morphing together into this one orchestra together, right? We're one
Yeah.
floaty cloud together of love.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
Love
it.
and light.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and nothing can touch us with people who wants to make warfare to us, because we
Yeah,
are in another paradigm. We live in another reality, and this reality is so much more powerful.
yeah.
The light. If we see the people who strive to darkness and to the one to light, it's the light always wins, because the
Yeah.
darkness make themselves implode.
Oh,
Uh,
the light is
so
already won. Yeah,
they are already on their own destroyment of themselves.
yeah,
And when we do the divine duality, it's having one pole, like something I judge myself for, and in the other forgiveness. It's so interesting when we move them together and start to meld them,
mm,
because it's not coming like one or the other is moving more than the other. They are both like shifting in their shape,
yeah. You can feel the,
in their
yeah,
frequency all the
yeah,
time. And when they are in the center, they are like the child from two parents. They come sourced
yeah,
by source energy, and from there we are in the divine field. And it's another one that is not light or darkness, it's a divine field. And
yeah,
the field of the triangle is what Nikola Tesla is talking about. It's a third. It's so much, as you say, it's so much about science in the same time as it's etheric.
Oh, absolutely. So it's powerful science
Yeah,
with ancient wisdom, you know,
yeah,
healing. And, you know, so we describe it as being in your baseline resonant frequency. So it's in that
yeah,
center point, like you say, it's the
yeah,
male, female child in the center point. And it's like
yeah.
I equate it to my audience as saying, you've got a radio station that is your personal radio station. And when you
Mm,
get it on correctly where there's no crackle, you're finally tuned in, and then you can amplify by turning that sound up. So you've got your personal radio station and you're just playing that music, and people go, oh, I like that music, and they tune in too, and they go, I'm going to tune
mm,
into that one.
yes.
And that's what people are drawn to. That's when you're resonating the beacon of love and light as you're being in your baseline resonant frequency. You're just letting that station play its music, and people are walking past and they go, oh, I like that station, or they're going through the dial and go, oh, I'm tuning into that one. And
Mm,
it's nothing more attractive because you're just in your
mm.
space.
Yeah, what's so interesting is when that's why soul realignment is so fantastic. When I go in the Akashic records and just go in there and see their energy field, and then really like could see frame it and also heal different traumas. But when we are there, well, when we are more and more ourselves, it's like in our culture we have said, oh, you're going to be egoistic and you're self-centered or anything. But what really is when you are going to be yourself, you have a direct channel to the being the fractal that was born from oneness, and because of
Yeah.
that you are connected to all.
Yeah.
So the more you are being yourself, the more you will be connected and have the empathy and understanding of others. It's such a beautiful paradox.
It is, and that goes with my mantra of just being more of
Yeah,
you. And
yeah,
talk about fractals all day long, actually,
mm,
but that's a
yeah.
topic, right? Oh my goodness, we've got so much in common and so aligned here. But at the end of the day, what is the thing that gets you out of bed, that drives you, that you're most passionate about? What is the thing that really fuels your soul every day? Is your ever ready battery, if you like?
To be alive.
Oh,
I think when I wake up, I often like I'm still in bed for a long time, just being as I was when I was a child.
yeah.
Just be there and let my eyes walk in the room with shadow and light and the magic of beingness.
Amen.
It's that, and then when I've been there for a while, I feel like my body wants to go up, and and then I start to remember all what I have in front of me of the day, and I start my daily practice, that is shamanic practice and some yoga and qigong,
Yeah.
and longing for the day of the clients, of my artwork or planning retreats or everything. So it's more the magic of existence, I
Yeah.
think, that
Oh, I like
takes
that
me
one.
up in the morning.
Magic of existence. I love it because you're honoring the energy within, right? The
Mm,
all around you. The magic
yeah.
of existence. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, so that's so fantastic. So down the track, how would you like to be remembered? You know, once we, get 6 feet under
As
or
a
wherever we go. But
Yeah. First of all, I will just say that in the morning, what happens there when I still in this state of just watching, it's the dream state,
mhm,
and in the
yep,
dream state, all is just uh, coming into balance. So it's such an important thing. It's not like I do it because it's important. I started with it and see that it's so important,
yeah,
not to rush immediately.
correct, correct,
Because
correct.
it's a dream state, and the dream state is between when the moon and the sun is coexisting, and our conscious and subconscious is coexisting,
Hmm.
and you don't have to think, or hopefully you not think, because that's just make your energy feel in harmony. So
Yeah,
I just tell that first,
yeah.
and yeah.
Oh,
So
absolutely. So sorry, go on. Yep.
yeah, no, your last question.
Oh, just how would you like to be remembered down the track?
Yeah.
And go,
As a,
Inaya, and what would you like people to say?
as a paradigm shifter.
Oh, I love that. You definitely
Mm.
are, for sure. You are a special gifted soul, for sure. And as we said earlier, we're all here. We all chose to be here at this time, and we have a really big purpose, and it's time to step into that purpose. And you know, you've got this workshop, or the 3-cycle workshop coming up on the 3rd of Feb, which is helping people through their paradigm shift. And it sounds fantastic. It's time for more awareness about this, and people to actually start doing some things, you know, doing the bits and pieces, because there's one thing talking about it, another thing about doing. Like doing, this is a doing year. It's time to like move forward, not
Yeah.
move back, but just start moving and doing it. So yeah, finally, are there any little parting words of wisdom before we wind up?
Sally, I'm so grateful to be with you, and your wisdom, and and all what you're lifting up in the world. I that's my last word. It's just my gratitude to you, and
Oh, lovely.
thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because as we know, gratitude is like universal manners. It's the same as please and thank you in this earthly plane. Gratitude to the universe, right? It's
Yes.
so beautiful. And you know, we're all learning and absorbing and growing, and you know, it's about collaborating with like-minded people, building communities of these frequency families of people on the same wave, on the same radio station, and tuning in and shifting, you know. And you're here to assist people to do that through this paradigm shift. So you know, thank you so much for coming on Magic Mike Moments. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you and get to know
Thank you
you.
so much.
Coming in from Sweden, and
Yeah.
early in the morning and
Wonderful.
the afternoon here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate you being on Magic Mike Moments, and I encourage everybody to reach out. I'll put the link in there for what's your website again? I've got it written down. Oakrootspiritualacademy.com.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
terrific.
Yeah.
And reach out, and also the Spotify thing, and also I'll put it in the links anyway, and find out about your workshop that you've got coming up. So you've shared a couple of freebies. So thank you so much, and kindness of your heart. And we look forward to chatting with you down the track. See what's
Yes.
since then. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Till next time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.